ITV, certainly the best.
Certainly the best.
Hello there, thank you for joining us on this special interview series on independent television. And I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. Our guest today on the program is the Ambassador of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS. As a matter of fact, the Ambassador of the European Delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, His Excellency Ambassador Gauthier Mignon. Thank you for obliging us your time.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation, sir.
Okay, how would you describe your presence in Benin so far? Is this your first time in Benin City?
Actually, it's my second time, but I came in a private visit the first time because I hadn't presented my credentials yet to Mr. President, so I could not engage officially by the time. So this time it's the first official visit. And I came really with an intention to see how, to review the cooperation we are having with Edo State and to try to see how we can scale it up. But I took the opportunity to visit yesterday to participate to a private preview of the Museum of West African Arts here in Edo State, which is a project I already saw last year when I came first to Benin City.
So how would you describe the level of partnership between the European Union and, of course, Nigeria, and particularly Edo State?
Well, with Nigeria, the European Union, together with its member states and its development banks, what we call Team Europe, I think is the first partner, is Nigeria's first partner in many areas, in trade and investment in particular, and also in cooperation in many areas. And we have 730 million euros in grants for bilateral cooperation with Nigeria between 2041 and 2027, plus also sizable amounts of loans, subsidized loans. And with Edo State, we've had a good cooperation in several areas. I'm thinking in particular of support to migration governance and support to stranded migrants returning to Nigeria, and many of them are from Edo State. And in the last few years, we supported more than 23,000 people to come back and reintegrate into their communities nationally, and many of them in Edo State, just to name an example. So we think we can do more in other areas. We're also working in digital economy, in renewable energy, and also in projects for communities. But I always come with states so important like Edo State with an idea of how to try to improve and strengthen what we are doing already.
All right. What is the policy thrust of the European Union in terms of opportunities for young people as it relates to education?
Well, for us, education is key, and young people are a cross-cutting priority in a country like Nigeria. So in all our projects, we integrate a dimension for young people and also for women. And in particular, as far as young people are concerned, we are funding a big national project called Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program. It's about helping young graduates to integrate into labor markets by funding a 12-month scholarship for having internships in medium and small size enterprises or public service to get a first professional experience. And this is something that we are now scaling up with the federal government. And we are also offering possibilities of studies in Europe, particularly through the Erasmus program. We have more than 100 Nigerians going every year to Europe to study a master in the framework of the Erasmus program.
All right. What is the policy thrust of the European Union in terms of opportunities for young people as it relates to education?
Well, for us, education is key, and young people are a cross-cutting priority in a country like Nigeria. So in all our projects, we integrate a dimension for young people and also for women. And in particular, as far as young people are concerned, we are funding a big national project called Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program. It's about helping young graduates to integrate into labor markets by funding a 12-month scholarship for having internships in medium and small size enterprises or public service to get a first professional experience. And this is something that we are now scaling up with the federal government. And we are also offering possibilities of studies in Europe, in particular through the Erasmus program. We have more than 100 Nigerians going every year to Europe to study a master in the framework of the Erasmus program in particular.
Fantastic. If you just join us, we have with us the ambassador of the European Commission delegation to Nigeria and Africa, who is in Edo State currently on a private visit, engaging him on a wide range of issues, looking at the partnership between the Commission and Nigeria, and particularly Edo State. Ambassador Mignot, let me quickly take you on a trending issue in Nigeria right now, which has to do with violence, extremism, and the talk around genocide against Christians is gaining momentum across the world, particularly in the US and several other places. What's the Commission's perspectives on this issue, and what is the intention in terms of helping Nigeria to deal with banditry, Boko Haram, and all other extremism that we're seeing playing up in the country right now?
I think it's important not to exaggerate or oversimplify situations which are very complex in Nigeria in terms of violence and insecurity. Of course, it's a big concern for everybody, including for us. We are very much committed with freedom of religion and belief in particular, and of course, any attack against communities or individuals because of their religion must be condemned, unacceptable. But at the same time, we stand in solidarity with Nigeria, with the victims of the attacks, of course, and with the overwhelming majority of Nigerians who are willing to coexist peacefully beyond ethnic or religious differences. And so we stand in solidarity with Nigeria to fight the many drivers of violence and insecurity. And religion is only one of them. And we've been supporting Nigeria for many years through many projects of peace building, of de-radicalization, demobilization of former members of non-state armed groups, for instance. And we are ready to do more. The European Union some 12 years ago received the Nobel Prize for Peace. And so we always feel the necessity to be up to this great distinction that we received, to work on peace building, to work also and strengthen a relationship on security and defense with Nigeria, but in a spirit of partnership and of respect for Nigeria's sovereignty.
Fantastic. You're here specifically because of the Museum of West African Arts, MOA, which of course was launched just a few days ago. But what's your take on the current issues surrounding the Museum of West African Arts, particularly against the background of some of the things that happened there, during the inauguration of the center? You were there.
I was there. It was not an inauguration of the museum, actually. Okay. It was just a private preview, because the organizer, I think very wisely, decided, as there were some criticisms, to postpone the formal inauguration of the museum. They announced this already a few days ago. And so yesterday was just a private preview for partners, friends, diplomats like myself and other European ambassadors. The EU has no direct involvement in this project. We are not funding this project. We might do it in the future because we want to partner more with museums and cultural institutions in West Africa and Nigeria, but we have no direct involvement so far. So I came here really to see the advancement of this very wonderful project I discovered last year when I came first, which is a great opportunity for Edo State, for Nigeria, and for West Africa. It's a West African museum. It's not about only Benin or Edo State or Nigeria even. It's West African. And I must say that the experience that we had yesterday was quite unpleasant and deplorable, because this private event on a private property was disrupted by so-called protesters who came in, allowed by the police, because there was security all around, but they left them in. And they disrupted the whole event. So it's exactly how you scale off. You scale off investors and development partners coming in good faith, to partner with your community. And Germany, for instance, has invested 8.5 million euros in this project. If now they see that this project cannot operate normally, the conclusions will be quite clear, not only for Germany but for all European stakeholders.
Fantastic. Let's look at a general issue that relates to the involvement of the Western world in Africa in terms of development, in terms of partnership, in terms of insecurity. Talking about partnership, we're seeing the European Union, for example, always disposed to giving loans to African countries, Nigeria inclusive. The perspective of these loans being a trap for developing countries, underdeveloped countries. What are your thoughts? What's the Commission perspectives on this?
Well, this is a trap where we felt collectively, the lenders and our African partners 30 years ago, and we had at the time to pardon part of this debt, to do a whole work to get out of this situation. So now, through, in particular, our new cooperation strategy, which is called the Global Gateway Strategy, we are very attentive not to fall again into this trap. So we limit the level of indebtedness of partner countries. We give subsidized loans. We don't want to fall again into this trap. And what we are seeing with concern is that African countries, some of them, are falling again into this situation with other lenders, not the European Union, because we've learned from our first experience. So this is why now we work very much with financial instruments, blending loans with grants, for instance, subsidized loans which create revenues for the country, so making sure that they can be reimbursed. So it's really a point we are very attentive to.
On a global scale, we've seen the disappearance of peace, so to speak, at the global level. I mean, the Hamas-Israeli crisis there's a ceasefire, there's some sort of agreement, but we're still seeing some measure of violence. We saw recently the RSF activities in Sudan, particularly in Al-Fasher. That crisis is still going on. And these activities or events that are unfolding globally that undermines peace globally, what's your perspective of the fact that it's like the world is hamstrung in terms of dealing with these issues, nipping them at the bud before it blossoms, it flourishes, snowballs into huge crisis like you're seeing now in Sudan? Hunger is there in Hamas. There's starvation, there's poverty, and all of these issues happening. Why is it so difficult for the world leaders to have a consensus in terms of how they can collectively respond to these issues?
Because we have collective rules in the United Nations Charter, international law. And what we have seen over the last 10 years or so is that very important players have not respected these rules. Take the case of Russia in particular.
Yeah, Russia and Ukraine.
The Russian invasion to Ukraine, which started in fact in 2014, then it became full scale in 2022. Then each from a permanent member of the Security Council, a country which is supposed to be a guarantor of these rules, then it shows that everybody can do anything and violates international law without punishment. And so this is why it's so important, and this is why the European Union insisted so much that all countries in the world had to condemn the Russian invasion to Ukraine. And most countries, including Nigeria, have done that. But others, including large democracies, have not done so.
When you say large democracy, are you talking about the US?
The US has done so,
okay.
But others have not.
Okay.
And then, other crises also popped up. And then when the law starts to be broken here and there, it just becomes contagious.
Ambassador Gotna Migno, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate this conversation.
Pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I've been talking with Ambassador Mignot, who is the head of the European delegation to Nigeria and Africa, is currently in Edo State on a visit, and we've been engaging him on a wide range of issues. Thank you for staying with us, and have a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.
Great to have you join us on Politics Today as we begin with two major developments shaping Nigeria's national conversation. First, the escalating wave of insecurity once again grips the nation. Another disturbing incident which emerged from Niger State, where a Catholic school suffered yet another abduction, raising urgent questions about our security strategy, the safety of our educational institutions, and of course the broader implications for communities living under constant threat. Well, we will be examining the factors behind this troubling trend and what resolutions might look like. And later on the show, we will turn our gaze on the controversy surrounding Nnamdi Kanu, whose life sentence ruling has sparked intense political, legal, and of course social debate. What does this decision mean? Troubling decision, you may say, for national cohesion, the rule of law, and of course the road ahead for Nigeria. We'll also explore how this moment could shape the country's political landscape in the months to come. Of course, we have a panel of analysts standing by to break down these issues from every angle. And still with me, my name is Philip Omogyupo. Never will I forget that. And don't forget that as we progress on the show, listeners on independent radio and of course viewers on independent television will be allowed to join. Via the course, you will be pouring in others for free. And of course, I will be urging you to be civil in your presentation. And of course, quickly hitting the ground, running on what we have today, starting with my guests in the studio. At my extreme left, I have a professor from Novena University, Professor Tony Joweri. Big thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And next, just at the extreme, is a politician, and he is Honorable Etiosai Gebo, thanks for being here.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers. Thank you.
And of course, I have a reverend with me, also a legal practitioner, Barrister Greg Iyayi. Big thanks for taking time to be here.
Good morning, Philip, and good morning, viewers and listeners on radio.
Well, we'll be extending the discussion to virtually to a global analyst joining us via Zoom from the United Kingdom, and it is Chief Daniel Akwemokan Matthews. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, my brother? And to my esteemed
Awesome, amazing.
and the professor, I greet you. Good morning.
Thank you, Chief. Also joining us via Zoom, as you can see, from the FCT Abuja, is another fine legal practitioner, Damisa Itote. Good morning, Damisa.
Good morning, Mr. Philip. Good morning, panelists. Second morning to you, Nigerians, and of course the listeners on radio.
Okay.
Good morning. Thank you.
Big thanks. All right. So let's quickly assess and unpack these issues. I'm starting with you, Honorable Etiosai Gebo. We've been having troubling issues, and of course, we've seen recurring decima from one administration to another. Well, we have the 2027 big election here, and looking at what we have in our hands, which started with the schoolgirls at Kebbi, and of course, just 4 days later, we heard about that out Niger State with St. Mary's Catholic School. Now, troubling issues as this. Some say it could be politically motivated, and others say, well, we seem not to have a wherewithal at government level to tackle this issue of insecurity. I don't know if you see it as politically motivated or lack of political will on the part of the president.
Well, I think it's politically motivated, and before I dabble more into that, I think I want to remind our people that I wouldn't necessarily think it is a lack of goodwill or willingness from the government, because there are actually military personnel involved, and in most cases we'll lose some of them in the point of contact. So this is about a nation, people putting in the effort to be at the battlefront, in some cases losing personnel who has loved ones, and I don't think we should trivialize it to say that government would, you know what I mean, ignore that sacrifice.
Or lacks political will to do the needful.
So I think it's political, because this whole adoption reminds us very vividly of the Chibok girls. Whenever there's an election coming, or maybe they feel that there's a particular president they don't like, elements within the space politically, I'm a politician too, I believe very strongly that they start using certain militia that they keep somewhere to attack soft targets, all in the name of to discredit the government. That is the closest I would think of if I have to be very sincere with my conversation. However, that doesn't mean that there are no challenges logistically or tactically on the part of the military. Because remember, before this whole incident came up again now, that has become a talking point across the nation and all over the world, even when President Trump is mentioning a country of particular concern because Christians have been killed in any way or form. There are periods and times before now when the country enjoyed some level of security. Like, for instance, I spoke to people in Sabah, Kaduna, who lived there, who used to suffer insecurity. And in the last year and a half, into the 2 years since the president have come on board, they can literally go everywhere in Kaduna. Why all of a sudden this whole thing has started again? So I think Nigerians should really wake up and make a choice to whether they're going to defend their country against those fifth columnists in this country who feels they're involved in politics, or they're in the military system, or they're in the intelligence system, or whichever ways that maybe they've got enough money that they've siphoned from systems even before the subsidy was removed, and they can use that to distort what is right and what is wrong, to constantly get us to smack our heads together and not even know who are the true indigenous of this land, who is fighting for this peace to return, or those who are failing it. So I think it's about time we should take a step back and really reflect deeply and support the government of this country in order to get real intelligence. And because these people, we know, from fact, I've spoken to people in high places, they do know where they are and who they are about.
Exactly where I was going.
And then I think our people should reclaim their country back.
All right.
Support the government and get rid of these people.
All right, thank you. Now, we're about looking at issues surrounding how to close the gaps. Obviously, we know that Nigeria has been a hotbed for insecurity, and of course, how to tackle this headlong. has been an issue that we've been dealing with for decades now. I don't know your thoughts on this, Professor Tony Jewere.
Well, I think to solve a problem, you have to look at the genesis, the background of the problem. When you talk about insecurity in Nigeria, we don't have to politicize it. The whole thing really started from Buhari's regime. We have to delete Buhari's regime. We have to be honest with ourselves. We remember when he said if he doesn't win that election, you know, in that year, that blood will flow like Babu. And in the process, for God's sake, he invited these militias, these fighters from neighboring countries, okay? And they were stationed in different parts of the country, you know, just in case he did not win that election. And at the end of the day, Jonathan being a peaceful man, the former President Jonathan being a peaceful man, he now gave up and said, hey, now congratulated him in advance. Oh, you won the election, congratulations. So these mercenaries that were invited into the country had no job to do. So in the process, they approached El-Rufai and of course Buhari, who invited them. What do we do? Pay us our dues. You know, when you pay us our due, we go. And those ones say, hey, gentlemen, there's no job to be done again because, you know, a new government is in place. There's nothing like fight and all that again. And so, for the sake of survival, they started doing all sorts of things, you know, went to the trenches, started kidnapping, you know, and doing all sorts of. So new groups started emerging in the process because they now discovered that there's money in the business, you know, and the president at that time could not do much because he knows that he is the root cause of the whole thing, and that is why you see the moment they are even arrested, within a short time they are let go. You know, and so the thing continues. And when these other groups discover that, oh, there's money in this business, more groups started emerging. And what happened? Then this sentiment of Niger Delta thing, you know, amnesty program. But then I said, okay, in view of all what do we do? The same people who were beneficiaries now suggested, oh, let's also give them amnesty. Are you getting it? Yeah. Let's also they now give the amnesty. They were treated as the beautiful bride. You know, give them uniform, fed them, put them in good hotels and all that and all that. Then the interesting thing, let me shock you, they now integrated them into Nigerian army. Okay, and when that happens, what do you expect? Of course, they started giving information back to their colleagues, you know, in the trenches, you know, in the trenches. And in view of that, when Nigerian army now goes for genuine operations, you know, to attack these people, they will give them information. Then that's why you start having landmines planted in strategic places and all that. And any operation Nigerian army wants to, they will also give the information. Yeah. So it's like there's an internal problem, so the Nigerian, you know, within the Nigerian army. So they couldn't do much at the end of the day. And it's unfortunate that Tinubu inherited that type of system, insecurity. And so there's little or nothing he can really do, except the army sanitized, and all these people have, are discovered, you know, and separated, you know, filtered. That's the word I was looking for. Filtered away from the Nigerian army. Okay. If that is not done, the problem continues.
Okay, we have a very delicate situation on our hands, most especially as we have different figures being peddled, you know, as per the students that have been, you know, abducted in Niger State. We're still looking for the orders at Kebbi, and we have various numbers being peddled, which is quite alarming. I don't know how you want this to be fixed, because most especially when we look at situations where year in, year out, every 4 years, we have elections coming up. And of course, they keep giving us promises, but there's this need for us to be proactive in governance. How do you see the lapses being closed under the present administration of President Tinubu?
What the man sows, he will reap. We should look at some of the people in power today. How did they come to power? It was by sowing and encouraging insecurity and making insecurity a campaign slogan. And we all know it. Then we can't run away from it. What you sow, you will reap. What we might be reaping today is what was sown, and the people who sowed it, we know them. Kabiru Sokoto, who went to a church, and then with his men, about 25 people were killed, the Catholic Church. DSS was looking for him. Other security agencies were looking for him. Eventually, they tracked him to the guest house of a governor in the administration at that time. And because it was a government house, the president has to waive immunity for them to attack. And they did. And they found him there. He was sitting on the table over very sumptuous breakfast.
Yes.
A very sumptuous breakfast. And he was arrested. That government official is a top government official in this present administration. That will tell you the root of the insecurity. It was meant to spite Jonathan, to discredit him, and then to oust him from power. And the people who did that, they're in this administration.
Yes.
So eventually, what they sowed is what they are reaping. Just like the prof has analyzed. They couldn't pay them. They couldn't compensate them. So those people have to find things for themselves. You see, if you are desperate for power, and you want to get power, even at the expense of your own country, this is the kind of thing that you get from it.
Well, it's quite challenging, most especially where the president had to, suspend at the point his trip, his foreign trip, and of course over the Kebbi schoolgirls abduction. And again, another one happened. We don't know what the president will do in this time. If he will suspend the forthcoming trip again.
I'm sorry to cut you short. Okay. You see, one has even just happened again now. I was looking at the media just now. In Nasarawa.
In Nasarawa.
Okay, I saw that yesterday.
Okay, well, escalating issues like this, let's join you, Damisa Itote from Abuja. Now, we have challenges where even the president said that the Minister of Defense should shift base to Kebbi. Now, it happened another one happened in Niger State. We don't know if the minister will again shift base to Niger State. Or just like what we just hearing now about Nasarawa. Now, what exactly can be done in all of this? Do you see the president as having challenges of lacking political will in this? Damisa Itote, can you hear me, please? I asked, what are your thoughts about how to tackle this issue headlong? Because the president did say that the Minister of Defense should shift base to Kebbi, but another one happened at Niger, and of course we're just hearing reports at Nasarawa. What do you see as ways in which this dreaded monster of insecurity can be tackled headlong?
Okay, well, thank you for having me once again. For me, I sincerely express my sympathies, over this kidnap and the endless bloodbath across the country, particularly in the northern part of Nigeria. I sincerely pray and hope that the little girls who are, schooling, who are receiving formal education, be brought back to their family, to be reunited with their family, alongside everyone that has been, taken into captivity by this dreaded monster. It's painful, and I feel for the families, and of course the little ones that are currently away from the classrooms where they ought to be if we were in a sane, society. Mr. Philip, back to your question.
Well, I don't know. Well, we sincerely apologize for the break in transmission. Separation by technical hitch. Well, I believe as we're able to restore that, we'll be getting back to Damisa Itote. Damisa Itote, are you there? Can you continue from where you left off, please?
You can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes,
I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Where I stopped, but I was okay. I said I was emphasizing with the little, children, pupils, and other people were, of course, taken into captivity. And for me, we've traced the issue. Your very robust panelists have, traced the issues. The question is that what is the way forward? One thing I really want to dwell on is that we are over-concentrating our effort on 2027 that we are not even yet guaranteed of. You know, we seem to be playing politics other than governance. See defection of sitting governors, defection here and here, all get towards 2027. Why re-governance has taken the back seat? I think that is the problem, basically. If we are sincere in tackling this situation, this insecurity situation, we should come up and examine or interrogate basic issues. What are those issues? One, personnel training. Well-equipped personnel training. Re-establishment of a broader curriculum in our security institutions, where modernized way of confronting wars, quote and unquote, war, asymmetric wars that are currently going on, and that should be tackled. But we discover that we are not doing that. Monies are voted for security, but you see schools being built in the villages of service chiefs, houses being built by service chiefs, military service chiefs, conference halls springing up across the nation. Is that the commandate of our military personnel or of the military to be building primary schools and building conference centers and everything with money that were earmarked for security or for security purposes? Basically, these are the issues we should be interrogating. That we should be interrogating them, the professionalism of our military. Then the homeland security, the disjointed nature. So the homeland security, the architectural security of our internal, the internal security within the country is heavily disjointed. We now react to issue. We are very reactive to issue instead of being preventive. Instead of integration, there is a total disjointment of the security architecture. So these are the issues. The DSS report directly to the president. The other security agencies like the immigration, NSCDC, they're under the administrative power of the Ministry of Interior. The police, it reports to the Ministry of Police Affairs, and so many other disjointed security apparatus. So how do we expect to have results? We cannot have results. So my suggestion or my recommendation is this. We should have a unified internal security mechanism or internal security framework that aligns with global best practices under the single leadership of a civilian-led administrator. So that all these other, sisters agencies, in fact, customs, which controls borders, report to the Ministry of Finance. That is not logical. Custom controls, but they report to Ministry of Finance. They are in another different ministry. So you see that the chain of command is not unified. So a DSS will give reports or give a security report. Police will be very reluctant in taking it or enacting on it. NSCDC will take because they receive instruction from other agencies and all of that. So that is where the problem is. Our security architecture is disjointed. It is disintegrated. So we must evolve ways by which we should have one single homeland security architecture under the headship of a civilian-led administrator, so that there can be a chain of command that will be followed directly down, to the lowest echelon. I think that is my position. If we fail to do that, then we are not there yet, or we are not even ready to take,
Thank you, giant. Let's shift our gaze to Chief Daniel Akwemokan Matthews. Well, we've been on this road, though, and it's quite difficult to really unpack this, most especially where over 200, as Punch newspaper reported, about 215 students, that are declared abducted at the Niger, school, a Catholic school. And of course, we still have the numbers of Kebbi. Now, there were issues surrounding the President of America, what he said concerning Nigeria of particular concerns. And of course, that sparked political debate, social debate across the world. But what do you see as ways to close this gap? And of course, how to tackle this issue of lack of political will that you may think exists, or lack of, intelligence gathering or tactics that could help to salvage this issue? Chief Daniel.
Thank you very much. a nation full of religious and tribal bigots. And to be honest, it's also full of political cowardice with handicapped military that is not really interested in the defense of the people, but rather than road checks, collecting coins from motorists. And it's obvious now that no one can say that we don't have a genocide going on in Nigeria. From what is happening in Kwara, Niger, and all across. That genocide now is so obvious that over 200 girls or more, or thereabout, are kidnapped in a Catholic school in Niger State. So for me, until we come to grip that this so-called Nigeria needs to be re-examined and reimagined, then people like El-Rufai, who we know is a terrorist sponsorer, and also with the late evil Buhari, who we know is the father of the bloodshed going on in Nigeria, and confronts them, then we will never be able to address the issue, no matter what strategic purpose we have. Because it's obviously clear that some people are behind this who are powerful in the government. And until we address that, there's nothing. Even if the whole America, Europe, and the whole world were to come, what happened in Somalia will happen. Will be fractionized, will be destroyed, and will never be able to be put together until we deal with one single thing, that we have politicians who are not cowards. We have traditional leaders who actually lead their people, who are not bought off. We have local people who value other people's life just as much as theirs, who start speaking up and start defending one another. So what the fine gentleman in Abuja just illustrated is a strategic thinking of somebody with critical mind. But majority of our politicians are just political opportunists. They are not interested in governing. They're only interested in the next election. They're already spending money for the next election rather than governing to prove themselves of capability to be re-elected. So until we address that and start focusing on that, calling out those political opportunists, low IQ politicians, all our problem can be politically solved. Our problem is not a military problem. It's not a religious problem. It's not even a tribal problem. It's a political problem, a political will. And I call the president, indirectly the president. I believe in him. I'm going to support him. I'm campaigning already for him for 2027. But if the president is not a coward, if he's a man of integrity and value, who value life above politics, who value a little child, regardless the religion that has been kidnapped, he needs to show his braveness in this matter. Into the armed forces should be all those who served 8 years underneath the evil Buhari and did nothing should be purged out immediately. Those are just basic two things they can start with, and immediately give the military a full total backing to go after anybody, not just the terrorists, but anybody aiding, supporting, sponsoring the terrorists, and alienate them. That is an easy demand or request of somebody who's not a coward. I remember when an outside lady said before the election, spoke to the president and asked the president, what do you have for us in the north? The president said nothing, because if I do, they will kill me. I do not want the coward as a president. In Nigeria, there's nobody above the president. The president to show his bravery, his audacity to be president, the audacity to say, Milokon, it's my turn. And in his turn, he needs to turn this around and jettison the evil of Buhari, jettison the evil of El-Rufai. We have to be a nation that is not a nation of religious bigotry, political cowardice, and handicapped military for us to really address this issue. And it's only through politics Only through politics, not military intervention, not foreign intervention, not any foreign aid will do that. It's only through politics. And politics, not a politics of cowardness, we can fix this. And I believe we have some good politicians who are more capable and credible to do this. One of them is the president, but he needs to rise to the occasion. One of them is the president that needs to rise to the occasion, and rise he must, because the nation demands that he does this and fix this problem and don't live as a coward, because this will ruin his legacy forever. No matter economic policy, no matter development policy that he may have achieved to date, this insecurity that he failed or cowardly not addressing fully.
Thank you, Chief Daniel. Thank you, Chief Daniel. I know you are quite agitated, but we'll come back to you. But let's quickly acknowledge what you said. Basically, your bold statements made in that direction. Even though you said that you were campaigning for the president come 2027. But you need him not to be a coward, but to sit back and make sure that he drives the figures in order to tackle insecurity. But our panelists made just some solutions that could be seen as long-term. But again, there is an immediate need to get these children out of being abducted. We have hundreds of them now, as reports have it. And how can they be released? Should we go about the ransom payment as a way to release them just now? So we're looking at a very, very short-term solution. But that will come after this short break. Do stay. Well, just as we are having issues surrounding insecurity that's quite escalating, again, we're also having issues surrounding, the life sentencing given to Nnamdi Kanu, and of course, what spills this could be having, politically, and of course, security-wise. We have the IPOB, and of course, the sit-at-home order, and of course, all that happens to deal with, regional issues. Now, let's come to you, Honorable Etiosa. What do you see as a short-term plan in order to get these children released, the students released? Of course, staff are also involved. And of course, we also have the challenge where even in Katsina, where ransom payment has taken a high toll to the point where even, bandits, terrorists are moving freely in the society. Now, Should we go this way?
Yeah, I think with the reduction of manpower and the cost of security operations in Nigeria due to over 15 years of insecurity problems, a lot of money has been pushed in there. It is almost impossible to have every sort of gadgets or the manpower that we need to secure everywhere. Most of these places where these things are happening are very remote areas. You can almost, if you go there, you can almost think that this is not even Nigeria.
So,
but then again,
what's the short-term plan?
But then
ransom
again,
payment?
I mean, I don't necessarily think ransom payments. The people in the locals and the bandits that interfaces for whatever they are doing understands that this may be the group that came to do X, Y, Z. If they give the right information to the personnel and they're able to negotiate with them or maybe go in and try and release those kids, whichever way, I think they should also seek for more technological support in terms of using drones and bringing in more advanced countries' contribution, because we've had bilateral relationship with a lot of these European countries and Americans so that they can have some sort of deterrence. As much as these kids have been kidnapped is bad, but this is the same model with Chibok girls. And for like
and we still have some numbers that have not been.
My brothers has been saying.
Yes, that have not been.
The people that are here, the big shots that are here, that are supporting this cause, needs to be tackled. And these problems also goes back to the Western countries, because a lot of the support they get comes from the West as well. So if the West, if they can negotiate with the Western countries more to stop the support, because a price of an AK-47 is over 7 million naira. Talk less of having a supposed to air missile, machine gun. So when these aspects are stopped, then negotiation or paying ransom can become a thing of the past. So you can negotiate whether you pay ransom or you get them out through kinetic way. Tomorrow they may do another one in a self-targeted area. There are mines
I'm giving you about just 2 minutes each to finalize this as regards the short-term plan. I don't believe you are looking forward to ransom payments. Professor
No, I think it's more than just looking at short-term plan. We have to also look at the root cause of this problem.
Which we
can deal with the root
Which we've
cause.
done, but how do we solve it?
Yes, how do we solve it? Is to remove all these Boko Haram people in the army, filter them out.
That's a long-term plan.
Yes.
I'm talking about the children that are languishing as we speak right now.
Yes.
How can they be rescued?
Well, what do you expect? Ransom now. No, it's ransom. Because in Katsina State, a few months ago, if government can start negotiating with terrorists, they even came with their ammunitions, everything and all that. I would expect that the Air Force will go there, bomb nonsense out of those baggers.
But that would be difficult to do now. That would be difficult to do now.
Yeah,
because the children
so at the end of the day, it's still going to end up with a ransom. That's the point I'm making. But it will not solve the problem. It will not solve the problem. It's only a temporary solution. It will not. So it's like you have typhoid and you are taking paracetamol.
Okay. Do you agree to that, Barrister Greg? Do you agree to that? That there should be ransom payments since we don't have any other way to go about it?
No, there are other ways.
Or there can be a drastic action that can be taken by the army.
Very drastic action. You see, you don't negotiate with terrorists.
Exactly.
And it has been proved over and over that when you negotiate with terrorists, you are only arming them. Obama did that to Iran, 100 billion. And Iran became the bully of the Middle East. But Trump subdued them. It took only 36 hours. And the planes went there, bombed the hell out of them.
Exactly.
And they humbled Iran. And there's some reasonable peace in the Middle East.
All right.
So I think the government should do the needful. They can collaborate. Britain pays £9 billion to Israel for intelligence gathering. 9 billion pounds to Israel every year.
Wow.
No, because Britain knows the limitation of their intelligence units. And then they also know, the global stretch of Israel's own. They pay them to do it.
But by the time you mention this bogus amount and you expect the government of Nigeria to do same, the big problem will be, will these funds not be misappropriated?
They have prevented.
But will the funds not be misappropriated? Are we not going to go the way of borrowing?
Yes. That's another issue.
What I'm saying, with global collaboration, this problem of terrorism, the immediate one will be taken care of, and then future ones will be forestalled.
Okay, pour your calls at us. The number will be displayed on the screen right about now. And of course, for listeners on Independent Radio, we verbalize it so that you can be part of it. And quickly, let's get your contributions, listeners and of course viewers on Independent Television. Let's quickly go to you, Damisa, as we round off on this first topic. What do you see as the short-term plan in order to get these children rescued?
Okay, for me, the honest truth is that Nigeria's internal weakness makes external narrative very easy. We must control our narrative. And in the interim, do whatever you need to do to get every kidnapped Nigerian out of the bush or wherever they are kept. I have children, I have nephews, I have cousins, I have nieces, so I can practically share in the pains of parents and family members of those whose children, whose brothers, whose sisters have been kidnapped. So do whatever you need to do as a government. Where you fail to use the monies available to you to secure Nigerians, use those monies wherever you want to use it, technologically or otherwise. Bring those kids back to their respective homes. Any means possible. Any means possible, I repeat. Get these kids out, please.
Yeah. You know you are a fine legal practitioner. When you say any means possible, you are trying to dodge the aspect of even if it means paying ransom. Why don't you just say it critically? All right, let's get to you, Chief Daniel. Do you subscribe to what has been said about ransom payment as the short-term plan?
Absolutely not. And it would be a foolish errand. And basically, we're giving them more money to do what they are doing and doing it more. Good example, when American citizens were kidnapped in the north, America came all the way from America, flew in, go into the Zambezi or wherever they are, rescue their own people without a single peep. And they were able to do it and successfully left the country without a single peep. If they can, we can get their assistance. And secondly, we need to be realistic. When we talk of global cooperation, there are 5 people deported from Dubai because in Dubai, they are Muslims. The Dubai government deemed them to be terrorist financier, deported back to Nigeria, and nothing was heard of them. Short-time fix. If we don't know where the terrorists are, the Nigerian government, allegedly, Gome knows. Gome goes and speak and dine with them. Gome was rejected from entering Saudi Arabia, the most holy land for Muslims. He wasn't allowed to come and pray to the God he served because they deemed him to be an evil terrorist. Gome walked freely and advocated for the terrorist, not the victim. They arrest Gome, put Gome in jail, arrest those people who are defending, explaining, and rationalizing them. Gome goes to the camp. If Gome is not taking the army to the camp, since the army allegedly cannot find them, then Gome should take us to the camp. And finally, yes, we should go in with all the might of Nigerian government and Nigerian military. We should go in and bomb them to hell. If some of the children were to be lost in the process, so be it. If my child was among it, I'll say, yes, so be it as well. So that they do not have the audacity to do it again or again and again. They will keep doing it if we keep having this further approach. A terrorist is a terrorist, and a terrorist who is a fundamentalist, you cannot change the fundamentalist perception. They believe in Takia. Takia means the art of deception. And they will continue to lie to you.
Daniel, I always enjoy when you speak, most especially when you make some bold statements and sacrifices that we must make as Nigerians going forward. You may mention on the fact that even if your children or any of your child is involved, you don't mind that you should bomb them, even if the children are involved in it. But that's a very hard saying. Well, let's look at the second topic, which is mind-boggling. And again, we need to keep Nigeria united. And some have said that with the life sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu, that brings a whole challenge again concerning the restiveness we have in the eastern region, and of course, how would that gravitate into more insecurity? So, do we seek a political solution? I'll give you 1 minute to react on that, Honorable Etiosa.
Well, to me, I kept asking the questions all the time why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, when he was in London broadcasting on Biafra Radio, why he wouldn't use his position to nominate people to run in a particular political party and direct his people, since they listen to him, to vote for that particular person as governors of the southeastern states, House of Rep members, senators, and then on that nucleus of being the leader, bring out different appointees from the southeast and work with them to develop their state, rather than turning into getting people, making threats to the Nigerian state, calling it a zoo, and then put himself in a tight corner. And at the end of the day, two wrongs don't make it right. I strongly believe that what happened to Nnamdi Kanu was not the right way to go, but he caused himself that problem. However, if terrorists and bandits are captured, prosecuted, and released back to the community in the Northeast, I also believe that he from the Southeast should be treated the same. Not to say that the things that he did was right, because even a blind man can see. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that he should have known better to understand this peculiar region and how things are done, that things are not balanced.
But I think irrespective of that, for national reconciliation,
yeah, but
there should be a political solution to release him from jail.
I also believe that the process is ongoing. By the time it goes to appeal and Supreme, whatever decisions that they make,
I just want to hit the point.
The president is in a position to also find a political solution. But then again, that move and way that he followed was not right. That is why he's going through what he's going through now.
Well, for national reconciliation, I don't know what your thoughts are. Let's get your thoughts, listeners, and of course viewers on independent television. Good morning. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and let's get your response. Your name quickly.
Okay, Raf.
Your name is Raf? Did you say Raf?
Raf, the Oracle.
Okay. Make your contribution quickly.
I think the president is the chief commander of the armed forces. That is very conspicuous on the Constitution, section 130, subsection 2. This is coming as a milocom, renew hope, so on and so forth. Subsidy is gone. Tax reform fee. Is that how it's going to follow the nation? Money, 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 money. The military, they thought them to be guarding a plot of land, rather than to be defending the country. For it to be protecting the country, they are no more. Backing the military and the soldiers all for themselves. I think the president needs to resign. By now, all the Donald Trump who said he wants to go to Nigeria, he should come and help us. Because their aim and objective is money, money. Any private jet, you need to have these married women, leaving the people who they swear at oath to live in the abode of blood.
Thank you so much, Raf. Well, I think that's a very challenging one. The president has got a very risky, delicate situation on his hand, most especially as this issue of kidnapping, abduction, really the masses are bearing the brunt. We don't hear about the political class, much of that happening from that angle. But let's look at the case of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, when you look at the case of Nnamdi Kanu, I think it's a case of agitation, which he has the right, but the methodology has a problem, you know, because if you look at the Terrorist Act, you know, of 2013, it's clear that an individual should not, you know, go into this agitation against his nation.
So he broke that?
Yes, so he violated that. And don't forget that his case involved about 5 different judges until eventually it was on 6 accounts, you know, and at the end of the day it was found wanting.
So you mean the judgment was fair?
Yes, on those 6 accounts.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at the case on its face value right now, on 6 accounts. And what he was hammering on, that's why you need legal aid. What he was hammering on was this Section 4, you know, of the Evidence Act, you know, that says, hey, once a case starts with an old law, that old law remains. You can't say the new law have to be administered.
Okay, but are you saying for the sake of national reconciliation, it shouldn't be released?
Yes, you know, because that's what he was hammering on. That's why I said Omotosho does not know the law. That's what he was hammering, but it was wrong because the Constitution does not say that. So having done that, I think the best thing that has happened, you know. Let me shock you.
What best has happened? Let's look at a way of healing the country.
Yes.
For national reconciliation, what do you propose?
Yeah, but the law.
Should we leave it on what it is now?
Wait, now the law have to take its course first. If later in the future, like President Tinubu eventually get amnesty,
maybe 10 years
to something where I don't know. But let the law take its course first. Then after that, the president may do the needful.
All right, let's get to talk on that, Barrister Greg. But before that, let's quickly take your call. Good morning, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, quickly.
This is my name. I'm calling from GRA.
We didn't get the name. Repeat it again, please.
Edos.
Edos, okay. Go ahead, Edos.
Hello, good morning. If you recall, my dear brother who is listening, the World War II, this matter started when Wan Yusuf started this war against government of Obasanjo around 1994, our President Obasanjo. But in addition, the other one that started again with the time that one Supreme said they should operate on Sharia in North. What I'm trying to say in nutshell, that they said they don't want foreign education.
Okay, go straight to the point, Mr. Edos. Go straight to the point quickly, please. You have just 10 seconds.
Okay, now, the country is giving us a headache, both the South and the North. Why can't we do this? The Christians should join hands together and discuss what to do next. We cannot continue to remain like this.
Okay. All right.
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Edos. Okay, over to you, Greg.
Hassan Katsina, Gowon, and some other military officers from the north once said that Nigeria should be broken into pieces. What happened to them? Hassan Katsina later became the chief of army staff. Gowon became the head of state. What of Sunday Igboho? Did Sunday Igboho not call for Odua Republic? Is he in prison? Has he been tried? Has he been sentenced?
Okay.
Why Kanu Nnamdi? Jonathan was told that he should go after Kanu Nnamdi. When he listed Nigeria's problem, he said Kanu Nnamdi's own is the list of all of them. So let him fix governance. And then what is somebody, going with flag and saying Biafra Republic, and that even Jonathan is not the president? He said, does that remove him from Aso Rock?
So for national reconciliation, you seek a political solution for Israelis?
What of the judgment that was given by the appeal courts?
Okay.
That struck down.
You're talking about judicial precedent?
Yes, all the charges. What happened?
So what does this amount to? I want you to make very positive.
My own is this. Kanu Nnamdi should be allowed to go home. Should be allowed to go home. Yes, it's a political agitation, and which he has a right to do. If it is not tenable, then let him go home. What of the invasion of his home by the Nigerian army? Was that not against the law? Was any officer punished for it? Was even an unknown soldier punished for it?
This is quite passionate, very, very emotional, most especially coming from a very.
But at the same time, we also are aware there was a video evidence that also showed how he was giving instructions for soldiers, police to be killed and all that, police stations to be burnt and all that. So let's not just look at
why
one side of the
Boko Haram?
Don't forget the fact
Boko Haram who have killed, who have destroyed, and then they were not even tried.
That is why there's no balance.
They just said that they have repented, and they are even absorbed into the Nigerian army.
When you realize that you're from a region where certain things is not balanced yet, and you're smart, you should apply the right methodology.
Thank you.
Not go the wrong way where you trap yourself.
Let's not rob Barrister Damisa and of course Chief Daniel time to react to this. Let's get to you, Damisa. React to this in 1 minute, please, over the life sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu. And what implications could this be? What could we do politically to solve this?
They will resolve
Okay.
it.
For me, I will not speak of the legal gymnastics that preceded the judgment of a few days ago of Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court Abuja Division. The cross of Kanu's agitation was that the law which it was used to charge him no longer exists.
Exactly.
But sadly, he failed to know that in every amendment of an enabling law, of an act, there are usually clauses that are called saving clause. And this was without exception.
Exactly.
That is the plain truth. And after opportunity was given to him, to defend himself, which he elected Neto.
So how do we solve this? Are you saying that it should remain in that, or should there be a political solution?
No, certainly there's going to be a political solution, clearly. The right to self-determination. I mean, look at our international conventions, treaties, and all those things. You have a right to self-determine. For self-determination, it is a fundamental right. As a state.
Thank you. Chief Daniels, quickly, you have 1 minute. React to this. Chief Daniels.
In our constitution, as well as the West stated, right of self-determination is an inalienable right. So for me, although my fine gentlemen say there's a video evidence where Kanu were instructing people to burn the police station down. Well, if you're from the East, I'm a purebred Asa man. I have no able blood in me, although my chieftaincy title, I chief, DKD Ahoma, is from Abia State. I did not even live in the East, but I traveled around the East a lot. And I come to realize that it's the most militarized zone in Nigeria. Most of those military people are committing heinous crime against them.
Okay, quickly hit your point in 10 seconds.
The only solution is a political solution. President Tinubu must interject immediately and commute Kamu's sentence to the time served and give him a conditional bail. That's it.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
President Tinubu will be the last president.
We will have much time
the East will explode.
To look into this critically. Big thanks, Chief Daniel, of course, Barrister Damisa Itote, and of course, Honorable Chosai Gebo, and Professor Tony Jewari, and of course, Reverend Barrister Greg Iyayi. This is what you can take, and big thanks to you, Raf, Edos, and all those that joined us on Independent Television, Independent Radio. I am Philip Omo Gupon. We'll do this same time next week. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Welcome to Market Survey, your weekly guide to the pulse of trade and daily living across Nigeria. In recent time, the rising cost of food items has continued to place pressure on many households. Today, we focus on one essential ingredient found in the kitchens across the country, egusi, also known as melon seed. Whether it is used for soup, sauce, or local delicacy, egusi remains a favorite meal in many homes. On this edition of Market Survey, we'll find out the current prices of egusi, what is driving the change, and how traders are adjusting to the new realities.
How the price of egusi now? But first, in general, it don't come down, maybe it don't go up.
It don't come down, but no market.
Okay. So how much they sell now? How the cups of egusi? How much do they sell for cup?
This cup of 500 before. Now 350.
Okay.
700 before, come before 50. Yes.
So now different type. Yes. This one now which one?
Now Hausa melon be this. This now hand pea.
Okay. Okay. So now this one now how much before? How much now?
Before now 700 the cup. Now it don't be 450, 500.
Okay. What about this one? This measurement,
Obiogo. This one, we dey buy am before 15,000. Now it don't come be 7,000.
So which one? The okay. What about the Hausa one?
The Hausa one. Now they say na 4,000 before na 6,000.
Okay. They say tomatoes cup for this melon.
Many people no dey gree buy tomatoes, e no reach anything. Milk up now they take sell pass.
So mama, how na they buy the melon? Na they buy am for bag abi basket? How na they buy am?
No, na paint rubber. That is custard rubber. We dey buy am before 9,000. Now it can't be 6,000.
Custard rubber.
The custard rubber.
So, but you know, say you talk and say a different type of egusi. So, so the one where you buy before. So, just tell us which one are the ando, I been at the Hausa.
They buy the two now.
For the custard rubber.
The custard rubber for here. For Hausa now I tell you 6,000 now. Okay. This one hand own. Before we dey buy am 11,000. Now it don't be 8,500. Yes.
So this egusi na get season wey they come down where we say suppose come down. Get the kind season wey they come down.
Yes, so now this season now. Now this season they don't dey wash melon for farm. Now it go come down. After Christmas again go increase. The new own 7,000. Now it don't be 4,000.
For which rubber? Which depends rubber?
Custard rubber. And so, custard rubber, but I not price the bag. I not price the bag, and I custard rubber they take by.
And I let Bini they see for down where they never
peel. Also now they peel and come by themselves for their own.
This one engine they peel.
This one engine they peel. This one hand they.
Egusi been up for market.
Egusi see the way they never see change.
How much na say how na say they carry on a bag, na pants, how na say they carry on for market?
Nah, it depend on the thing. Who they carry, who they measure for the thing they buy. So it depend on the how your money reach. So you can fit carry one bag, you can fit carry quarter of bag. So
how much for those bags you want carry?
If in case you want carry bag is 200. So. As you take up now you see taste to taste your own gain and the profit. So that's what you do.
So how much now they measure now for cup?
Cup is 500, 600. Exactly. This one. NGO na 500. Hand pay na 600.
The hand pay na the one they use and take pay.
Yes.
So that the two they different.
Different.
Price.
Yes.
So now that this cup now this they measure.
Yes. So that this one. This one if na engine, this one na 4,000. Hand do na how much? 5,000. For this one.
This one na rubber.
This one na rubber. So hand do 9,000. Engine 7,000.
Last price.
Yes.
So there's nothing price past that one.
No. If we two price, we fit give am 6.5. Do it because na our customer, so na just personal customer. We give am 6.5 lowest price.
So this cup might be the smallest cup on the side?
Yes, might be. No, see the second one. This one na 250 for NGO. Handle 300.
Wow. So you talk and say handle the NGO day. Yes. That means the one where they use and say P. Yes. So what about the one where they never P? So now they say that one?
No, not they say that one. If in case you want to say that one, if you don't want too much, that one they're not the measure for cup. If that one too much, that's 300 or 400.
What do you say they measure as? They measure for cup?
Exactly like this. And this one. I saw that they sell off.
So now you just say the price now still the way it is.
You see the way it is.
Since when this price still be like this?
Now since last year now. Since last year now you see the never second that.
But they say egusi they get season where this say they cheap.
The season so the last time so that it's last month now. So say this melon for 9,000 now. So say 7,000. So so this period now, I know shall say new melon go soon come out. So maybe if a new melon come out now, go see come down small.
How the business of egusi for market?
If you buy bag now, before was 180, 200, but now it's now 240, 245, depends, 250. Yes. Now.
So what about if they measure for paint? How not they buy them for market?
Well, like now they sell paint 5,000. I don't know how much others say they said their own. It can be 5,500, it can be 4,500, it can be 5,000.
So apart from paint, other ones where they measure, how they measure?
Like we could be a one now.
VCD could be a whole
2,500, some sell it 3,000, some sell it 2,800. Depends on the person.
And I still understand. Say it depends on the type of egusi.
One are ant. One is aging. The handle you can get it 3,500, but this aging now is 2,500. So sell it 2,800. Depends of the person.
So now only that two type of egusi na day.
Yes.
Okay. So apart from this one, how much did they measure for this rubber?
Like this one is 5,000. So sell it 5,500.
5,000. Which one, the hand or
the aging? Okay. The hand you can get it 7,500, 7,000. Depends of the person. Yes.
So what about cup? How do they measure for cup?
This cup is 400. This one is 400. The hand is 600. Why the aging is 400?
Why the hand dear past the aging?
Because it's human being that used to break it. Human being will take time and break it. And the aging maybe a bag can be break in a minute.
But okay, as now you might be now they break down with hand. Which one if you say they better part? The one where they break with hand or the one that they break with engine?
The one they break with engine. It dey like the hand though, it dey thick than the engine home. If you cook the hand though, it will thick. We have seeds inside. The engine home will be so light. It's not, there's no difference in it. That's yeah.
Well, na the same melon, just be say one.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
The melon sometimes e go come down, sometimes e go there. So we not gonna know the one we dey for inside. Even the outside when we see dey follow dey buy, some they will say e cheap, some go say e there. If you go New Benin, if you reach there, you see cheap one buy, but for here, e no dey like come down.
So how much na person dey buy am before and na dey buy am now?
Before we dey buy am 7,000.
For which one?
For rubber.
Rubber of which one? Because I
rubber of rice.
Okay.
Rubber of rice 7,000 before. But now we come dey buy am 6,000 for here for Selu market here. But if you go New Benin, you buy am 5,500. But if you reach here, they will say it never drop. Now 6,000 we dey buy am for here. But if you go New Benin, you buy am 5,500.
So now, you say they say na two type of melon dey. Now they say the ando and the NGO.
Now the NGO now be 6,500.
Okay.
While the ando you see am buy 8,000 or 7,000.
Okay. So how much you got to dey measure am for cup?
We dey sell 450. We dey sell 400.
Okay. Which one be 450?
The one of engine we fit sell 400. We fit sell 450.
Yeah.
Why ando 600, 500.
Okay. So what if you say be the difference between this engine and the ando?
Na the ando na dey sweet pass and na see white pass.
Okay.
So this NGO some dey carry sand. If you wan cook am, you fit blow am, you select am. Na be the difference when e dey inside.
Okay. So apart from this cup, which other cup you dey measure egusi?
Na kobi owo. That is half of rice rubber.
Yeah, how much?
That one na 3,000 for the half of rubber.
For which one, the hand or the engine?
For the engine. Why for the hand na 4,000.
So now you say the price is now never too come down like that.
E never too come down because e go come down, e go still go up. E dey wave.
Well, you suppose get season where we say egusi go take dey come down, where we say e go cheap for market.
Na when you need come outside. When you need come outside, when the plant come outside, melon go still come outside, e go still drop small.
So like this, I will never reach that season.
No, e never reach.
That's why it's still there on the outside.
Yes.
So between how much they buy and before and after they buy, and like how much difference? If you talk like how much difference we do now,
like 1,000 different now before now 7,000 now 6,000.
Okay. So if you get the time that they buy and pass like for a lower price.
Before that time, I don't say not be now again.
How much they buy?
That time we buy 2,000, 3,000 for rubber. 1,800.
And now they go up. Jonathan regime, we were selling it 50 naira. Hand melon was 80 naira. Engine melon was 50 naira. But now we are buying a cup of hand melon 700 naira. Engine melon 500 naira in the market. So you people should go and talk about it. It's not only melon, even pepper.
They carry for bag.
Look at the bag over there. Now, do you see it?
Yes.
That bag of melon now, I'm buying it 360,000 naira in a bag. Jonathan regime was buying it 32,000 naira at bag. That was there. So when we are in Buhari regime, and I start buying it 120,000 naira in a bag, we now started complaining. But now we are in Jagaba regime. We are buying it 360,000. Do you see the bag? That is the bag over there. I'm buying it in the market now 360,000 naira.
Well, they say that the period of melon now they say supposed to come down.
That is the thing. Now we are saying come down. We buy it 400 and something thousand. We bought this particular bag 420, 430. But now we're in the period of melon. Now we are buying it 360. Look at the bag over there. Look at it. This is the melon bag. I'm buying it 360 in the market right now. If I transport it. You see it? In Jonathan Regime, I was buying it at 32,000 naira. Jagaban Regime, I bought it. Highest price is 120. Now I'm buying it 360 in the market. Yes, look at it now. Look at the evidence. I'm showing you the bag now. 360,000 naira I bought it.
Egusi call down small. I dey sell 450. I dey sell 400. I dey sell 450. I dey sell 400.
How much did they carry it for market? Now bag they carry, be they measure?
No, na measure. I dey measure. Because I don't get money for bag. I dey measure.
So that measurement, how much did they carry?
That measurement, I dey carry am. The time wey be say I never know as it dey sell, I dey carry am 3,500. But now na 3,000.
Okay. So how you say they can't measure am? Because now two type, ando and NGO.
Hand you na dey front. There's the one where they back na NGO. That hand you 650. The NGO I dey sell 450, 400.
For cup?
Yes.
Which other thing you say they measure and which other side you say they measure?
Nah, just only this milk cup.
Now you say they measure for the...
Yes.
So what if you say be the difference between that NGO and the ando?
Different day, because that NGO, that hand you jare, they cook am, they say they sweet pass NGO. Now make am.
So now that be the difference. Now make am dear pass this other one because it's...
Yes, now how did they take break now? No be edgy. That's the way they break come for me now. Na edgy. If you no break for me, I don't go buy because that one will be say they say. Yes. They miss am. Okay. For market they miss am. But if that woman no break for me, I know they buy.
They miss am with which one?
They go miss the two together. They go say na hand. But only hand you own. If that woman come, he break for me, I go buy. But if he finish, I don't go buy again because they miss am.
So how you got to know say they miss am?
If I touch am, different day. Because if you touch hand you, it go shook your hand. But you, if they miss am, you put am for hand, you no go do anything. You just do like that.
You no go chook your hand.
You no go chook. Yes.
But now what they miss now, of course it's sell and the way they say hand price.
Yes, now so that they go see their own for inside. As I buy, now I go sell, but I know they miss am.
But they say now the season of egusi now with this.
Yes, now.
So why the price is still be like this? Suppose come down pass this one.
As they sell for here now. No say here now with New Benin, no be the same.
Like what will be the difference?
New Benin now they fit sell 2,800, but here 3,000. That be the difference.
But that means but it be like what we say some person they go buy for New Benin. If you go buy for New Benin, sell for here. How you go taste that way you buy?
Other one they get the power to take go that side now. Person wey not get power go say they here go there. If na 109 day inside, to me I'm okay. But some people they find big money for inside. As it talk, if na small money na dey inside for me, I'm okay. Na so it be.
As we've seen, egusi remains a staple in many Nigerian households, but its rising costs continue to shape the choices of both traders and consumers. From supply challenges to increased transport expenses, several factors are influencing today's prices. Yet, despite these difficulties, families continue to adapt and traders work hard to keep their business going. The hope is that prices become more stable in the weeks ahead, easing the pressure on every home.
To the end of of today's edition of Market Survey, and we've got to understand that the prices of egusi generally have increased compared to the fact that we are currently in the season. It is still on the high side. I've also got to understand that we have two types of egusi. We have hand egusi and we have machine egusi. I also get to understand that the one for hand is way expensive compared to the one of machine. And that is it on today's edition of Market Survey. I am Stephanie Notoriwa. Thank you so much for staying tuned.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney? The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Hello viewers, welcome to Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji. So today on Viewpoint, let's talk about the insecurity that has been affecting Nigeria as a country and how it affects our economy, our agricultural sector, and most importantly, our means of livelihood.
security is the most important element if you are talking about whether state development or national development. No investment can thrive when there is no guaranteed security. And I don't think any economy can grow. I don't think any country can do well if the security architecture of that country is not such that it's able to arrest things that will make investors scared to put their investments in that very environment. And then on the issue of Donald Trump, people say it's threatening Nigeria, but I don't think it's threatening Nigeria. The issues raised that led to Donald Trump and the Secretary of War of the United States wanting to come to Nigeria, those issues, are they real? Those are the questions to ask. The killings, are they real? Is there massacre of people, whether Christians or non-Christians? I don't believe that the people that are doing it, that they are Muslims, because I do know that Islam does not encourage killings. So for them to think that they are on some mission for God in quotes, and nobody has been able to stop them. We have a country where the security agencies have not been able to curb these things for so many years. 8 years of Buhari is gone. We are post 2 years now talking about arbitration. That's 10 years. And in a country like Nigeria, you still see where they will show you on video where people are being killed and buried. The question when some people talk, the question I always ask them is it because those that are affected are not directly related to it? So I think that the American government, coming out to say that if Nigeria cannot solve it, they want to come and solve it. I think it's a wake-up call on one, the president who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who is the chief security officer of Nigeria, to either do the needful and let every Nigerian feel protected within our country.
As of today, obviously insecurity has become a thing of concern for every Nigerian. And primarily from our own research, I personally have realized that the insecurity is given birth to by Nigerians themselves, in line with the high rate of corruption in the system. Insecurity can only reduce when the corruption level is reduced. The primary cause of insecurity in our society is lack of consequences to crime. So if there are consequences, as we all know, the Nigerians are very good in abiding to laws when there is consequences to the crime they commit. So the Nigerians are very good in taking advantage of loopholes when there is no consequences to their crime. If you pay attention to Nigerians that are in diaspora today, you realize that 80% of them are very law-abiding over there. The primary reason for that is because in the Western world, the consequences to crime is not negotiable. So, but coming back home today, we all have seen it, taking a negative tone on our society, and we all are affected by it in one way or the other. Talking about foreign intervention to Nigeria, we all, I wouldn't say we all know, but for me, it is obviously clear that this was expected at a point. It's in two ways. One way is because of the applications of the current federal government, the steps they are taking to boycott American. The country we are living in right now is a one-party system. And obviously, it's not healthy for the country. We see governors, everybody moving to APC today. So Nigeria is in the state of in the state of surgery. So we need a surgery at this point, because a society that does not have a competitor is as good as doomed.
What I'm about to say right now is concerning the herdsmen that come to our community here. Those are rear cow. They normally come with their cow to eat people cross here in my community here. They used to come with their cow, instead of them to move along the road so that their cow will not eat grass from the road. They will take those cows to the people's farm in community. They will be eating their cross. Some will have cassava, some will have yam. Those cows will not destroy those cross in their farm. Many occasions, those people, they will come to me, started explaining what is going on in their farm concerning the herdsmen with their cow. We don't want such a thing from the community. The way they are damaging people crossing here in community is very bad. Also, in our secondary school in Umtekon here is very bad. There is no window in those schools, no door. There are some iron shed that those children are using to sit in the school. Some boys, we don't know them, they will go there, destroy those shed, pack those iron and bend it, fold it and take it to somewhere they will go and sell those iron. It's the iron that they are taking from the shed. They will remove the wool that the children was supposed to write in school. Then we remove those one away from the shed. Then we fold the iron, take it away to go and sell it to wherever they want to sell it. We doesn't want such a thing in community. We are still pleading, we are begging so that they can also support us. It's supposed the school is well available for us. The school is well built. Those windows have been fixed. Those doors have been fixed. By the time those door or window are being locked, I believe that they can never go there and be stealing those iron share in school.
First and foremost, let me start with how it affects our livelihood. You will discover that when farmers can no longer access their farms, they can no longer cultivate crops, you find out that there is food shortage and there is food insecurity. People will be hungry, and the few crops or agricultural products, the price will skyrocket, which will result in inflation. And if the prices of foodstuff increase, every other thing will increase to catch up with the prices of foodstuff. You'll find out that when there is insecurity, people can no longer travel. You find out that you see situations where buses are stopped and everybody is kidnapped. How will people do interstate and intercity economic matters or businesses? You find out that everyone is holed up in his own state or in his own city without being able to do cross-country businesses. And again, you find out that foreign investments run away from countries or places where there's insecurity. Where there's insecurity or fear of the unknown, money flies away. People start taking out their finances, their investments, and running away from that country. That is the problem Nigeria is facing, and it is not good for our economic development. And if need be, what stops us from asking for help? If your house is on fire and only you cannot quench the fire, will you not call in neighbors to help? I have spoken against his rhetoric before, but we should look beyond how he speaks. We all know Donald Trump, he will always be Trump. But we must look beyond that and see how we can be helped. Now, Donald Trump seems to have the list of people who are behind this mess that we are in. And so everyone is jittery. But Nigeria needs help. And if help is coming, we should accept it so that these bandits, these herdsmen can be driven away. We must not play politics with our security. If we need help, we should accept help.
Insecurity in Nigeria ranges between banditry, insurgency, kidnapping, and of course, these ethnic clashes. We cannot rule that one out. Also, the farmer headers herdsmen clashes, we can also rule it out. And the fact remains that these have been so predominant in the north and southeast of Nigeria. And I think of recent, we started experiencing kidnapping in the south. Before now, at the advent of the democratic system in this era, there was this militants in the south. But I think at the moment, what we are experiencing now, one can only say that there is other hidden agenda which is not visible to the understanding of the natural man, because we discovered that in the north, a lot of religious crisis, so to say, because we see the Christians are being killed almost on daily basis, churches are burnt, and of recent, the United States of America alerted us that there is, of course, genocide, the massacre of the Christians in Nigeria, of which we are not ignorant of that fact, because it has been always on the news. In Benue, in Plateau, of course, Nasarawa, Borno, Adamawa, where the Christian Association of Nigeria chairman of that state was also killed. I think as it stands, the effect is so devastating. For example, you are going to discover that especially in the northern region, there's going to be restriction of movements, transportation. Of course, also in the south, because you cannot move so freely, because fear of being kidnapped is there, and this herdsmen issue, because like in our community of recent, we saw some of these people also creating some problem, resulting in killings, and of course, those things are likely to have adverse effects on our economy and of course in the movement of citizens.
Insecurity is affecting our culture, is affecting food production, short of food, short of yams. At the same time, years back, we see yams everywhere, plantains everywhere, and all that. So, if I may say, but Nigerians are a nation, country, and we also have a stake. But since our government are proving the otherwise, what do you expect us to do? Everywhere is security. Many city where we are, there's still security, Fulani but everywhere. Nitiala and all those terrorist group and all that. Not until they browned these bandits as terrorists, I think they won't do anything about it. And to a large extent, they're being funded by powers on high. At this point, Nigerians are helpless, and that's the gospel truth. We're helpless. The nation is on the standstill, nothing is working. Nothing at all is working. And so, if now our president is beginning to wake up and ask for assembly, it's the right call towards the right direction. They should wake up and do something. Because for too long, I think some persons are making profit out of this banditry and whatever is going on, this so-called Boko Haram and all that. How can you have in a nation, in a country that we are Nigeria, our nation, we have no other country, whether we travel to America, wherever, we're still Nigerians. Just imagine, in this same nation, we have Sharia law. Does it make any sense? I will say we want Nigeria. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if we are Nigerians anymore. I don't know the right word to say. And I think the Northerners, it's high time they wake up to know we are Nigerians. We are one Nigeria, one nation.
Nigeria is not for me alone. It's not for the North. It's not for the Igbos. It's not for the Yoruba. It's not for the Edos. It's not for the Shekiri or Jaws or whatever. It's for everybody. And when we wake up to that responsibility, I think and I believe Nigeria will go forward.
The security of life and property and the welfare of the citizenry is the primary obligation, the duty of the government as enshrined in our Constitution, particularly under Chapter 2, precisely Section 14, Subsection 2B, where it says that the government's primary responsibility shall be to provide welfare of the citizens and security of lives and property. And that, be that as it may, it seems that our security issue has lingered for such a long time, that it begins to give some inferences, that people are beginning to infer that there's more to it. There are people who are cashing out on this, our insecurity, which shows that it's being politicized. There's more to it. Because in my own honest view, I feel that whatever challenge you have in this insecurity can squarely be handled and tackled by the government, except that they are having some cold feet, probably because of some of their interests or inordinate benefits they are getting from it. Otherwise, if they are set to tackle insecurity, who are these insurgents that you cannot suppress? But because there are political motives, there are selfish, objectives, there are people who are making it here and there. I mean, insecurity or kidnapping and banditry have come in the realms of billions now. They now ask people for ransom in billions, in hundreds of millions. So it has become very profitable to indulge in. So people have been encouraged to get into it because government has provided a veritable ground for it to fester. So now, I think that since Nigeria is a sovereign nation, foreign intervention cannot happen. America cannot invade Nigeria without incurring the wrath of the international community. But as a sovereign nation, your internal affairs are to be managed and handled by you and not to another nation. But America being the number one world police of all the nations, you don't expect them to fold their hands and watch the gory scenes that are flowing out from Nigeria every day, where people are being beheaded recklessly and ruthlessly, where people's lives have been turned upside down, people have been maimed and brutalized, people have been chased away from their ancestral homes, and nothing is being done, despite the amount of budget, huge, humongous money they've been budgeted for fighting insecurity. It ends up in private courts. And, the kind of, when you fight a war, that those who are fighting it are part of it, it becomes difficult to win. But most of the people fighting insurgency and insecurity are part of the problem. So that's why it becomes a problem. So I don't think that it is impossible for America to invade Nigeria. It has happened in the past.
We blame the federal government and the state government, not only Edo State. It's no more news. We are aware how the bandit came into Nigeria. I would not want to dwell on it too much. It affects the community, even the rural area. I have farmers that are even farming on their own inside my farm. I have almost 50 laborers. Do you know, if I didn't employ security people, that village would not have been going to farm at all. And yet, we are not feeling the impact of either the state government or the federal government. This place is a bit fair. What of Benue and Plateau? The government should wake up.
For a very long time now, the issue of our insecurity, has been quite alarming. Yes, as a nation, that is suffering insecurity, the economy of such a country is going to be stagnated. As a country is also seeking to grow our economy, it is also very important that investors from around the world are attracted to invest into the economy. And then let's also look at our citizens. If there's unrest regarding, if the liberty of the people is being threatened, there's no how people can go about their daily endeavors. Right now, it's also the pressing issue that farmers no longer go to their farms at will because of the issue of banditry, kidnapping, and all of that, which is a major problem in our current society. It is also to that effect that we as human rights activists within our own capacity are trying out to the government to ensure that the right security apparatus is being employed, and then that the government of the day is trying to focus more their energy is being channeled to address the issues of insecurity as the ultimate unrest in our nation. Well, with no reasons to dispute that Nigeria currently is going through insecurity, like you rightly said. But then, as a president of a country which we believe should also be inclined to international law, we see it as a disrespect, to Nigeria as a sovereign state. Yes, before we engage, there are rules of engagement. If Nigeria as a sovereign nation is in one way or the other having a bilateral agreement or a diplomatic agreement with the U.S., inviting the U.S. government to intervene in an issue, then it would be a different case. And then the reasons why I, as a person, which I'm also entitled to my opinion, will not support that effort is because the United States, when it comes to military intervention, has a very poor record, because we've seen instances of countries where they intervene and such countries were left in ruin, and Libya is a forceful example in Africa.
Amid insecurity that is currently affecting Nigeria as a country and its citizens, with different reactions from our respondents, who also called on the federal government to do the needful to boost the security of lives and properties of citizens. They also reacted and made reference to the intervention statement made by the United States of America's President Donald Trump, calling it a welcome development, and it should also be something that should be welcomed by the country. It is Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji.
Certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
Hello there, thank you for joining us on this special interview series on independent television. And I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. Our guest today on the program is the Ambassador of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS. As a matter of fact, the Ambassador of the European Delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, His Excellency Ambassador Gauthier Mignon. Thank you for obliging us your time.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation, sir.
Okay, how would you describe your presence in Benin so far? Is this your first time in Benin City?
Actually, it's my second time, but I came in a private visit the first time because I hadn't presented my credentials yet to Mr. President, so I could not engage officially by the time. So this time it's the first official visit. And I came really with an intention to see how, to review the cooperation we are having with Edo State and to try to see how we can scale it up. But I took the opportunity to visit yesterday to participate to a private preview of the Museum of West African Arts here in Edo State, which is a project I already saw last year when I came first to Benin City.
Also, so how would you describe the level of partnership between the European Union and, of course, Nigeria, and particularly Edo State?
Well, with Nigeria, the European Union, together with its member states and its development banks, what we call Team Europe, I think is the first partner, is Nigeria's first partner in many areas, in trade and investment in particular, and also in cooperation in many areas. And we have 730 million euros in grants for bilateral cooperation with Nigeria between 2041 and 2057, plus also sizable amounts of loans, subsidized loans. And with Edo State, we've had good cooperation in several areas. I'm thinking in particular of support to migration governance and support to stranded migrants returning to Nigeria, and many of them are from Edo State. And in the last few years, we supported more than 23,000 people to come back and reintegrate into their communities nationally, and many of them in Edo State, just to name an example. So voilà, we think we can do more in other areas. We're also working in digital economy, in renewable energy, and also in projects for communities. But I always come with states so important like Edo State with an idea of how to try to improve and strengthen what we are doing already.
All right. What is the policy thrust of the European Union in terms of opportunities for young people as it relates to education?
Well, for us, education is key, and young people are a cross-cutting priority in a country like Nigeria. So in all our projects, we integrate a dimension for young people and also for women. And in particular, as far as young people are concerned, we are funding a big national project called Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program. It's about helping young graduates to integrate into labor markets by funding a 12-month scholarship for having internships in medium and small size enterprises or public service to get a first professional experience. And this is something that we are now scaling up with the federal government. And we are also offering possibilities of studies in Europe, particularly through the Erasmus program. We have more than 100 Nigerians going every year to Europe to study a master in the framework of the Erasmus program.
All right. What is the policy thrust of the European Union in terms of opportunities for young people as it relates to education?
Well, for us, education is key, and young people are a cross-cutting priority in a country like Nigeria. So in all our projects, we integrate a dimension for young people and also for women. And in particular, as far as young people are concerned, we are funding a big national project called Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program. It's about helping young graduates to integrate into labor markets by funding a 12-month scholarship for having internships in medium and small size enterprises or public service to get a first professional experience, and this is something that we are now scaling up with the federal government. And we are also offering possibilities of studies in Europe, in particular through the Erasmus program. We have more than 100 Nigerians going every year to Europe to study a master in the framework of the Erasmus program in particular.
Fantastic. If you just join us, we have with us the ambassador of the European Commission delegation to Nigeria and Africa, who is in Edo State currently on a private visit, engaging him on a wide range of issues, looking at the partnership between the Commission and Nigeria, and particularly Edo State. Ambassador Mignot, let me quickly take you on a trending issue in Nigeria right now, which has to do with violence, extremism, and the talk around genocide against Christians is gaining momentum across the world, particularly in the US and several other places. What's the Commission's perspectives on this issue, and what is the intention in terms of helping Nigeria to deal with banditry, Boko Haram, and all other extremism that we're seeing playing up in the country right now?
I think it's important not to exaggerate or oversimplify situations which are very complex in Nigeria in terms of violence and insecurity. Of course, it's a big concern for everybody, including for us. We are very much committed with freedom of religion and belief in particular, and of course, any attack against communities or individuals because of their religion must be condemned, are unacceptable. But at the same time, we stand in solidarity with Nigeria, with the victims of the attacks, of course, and with the overwhelming majority of Nigerians who are willing to coexist peacefully beyond ethnic or religious differences. And so we stand in solidarity with Nigeria to fight the many drivers of violence and insecurity. And religion is only one of them. And we've been supporting Nigeria for many years through many projects of peace building, of de-radicalization, demobilization of former members of non-state armed groups, for instance. And we are ready to do more. The European Union some 12 years ago received the Nobel Prize for Peace. And so we always feel the necessity to be up to this great distinction that we received, to work on peace building, to work also and strengthen our relationship on security and defense with Nigeria, but in a spirit of partnership and of respect for Nigeria's sovereignty.
Fantastic. You're here specifically because of the Museum of West African Arts, MOA, which of course was launched just a few days ago. But what's your take on the current issues surrounding the Museum of West African Arts, particularly against the background of some of the things that happened there, during the inauguration of the center? You were there.
I was there. It was not an inauguration of the museum, actually. Okay. It was just a private preview, because the organizer, I think very wisely, decided, as there were some criticisms, to postpone the formal inauguration of the museum. They announced this already a few days ago. And so yesterday was just a private preview for partners, friends, diplomats like myself and other European ambassadors. The EU has no direct involvement in this project. We are not funding this project. We might do it in the future because we want to partner more with museums and cultural institutions in West Africa and Nigeria, but we have no direct involvement so far. So I came here really to see the advancement of this very wonderful project I discovered last year when I came first, which is a great opportunity for Edo State, for Nigeria, and for West Africa. It's a West African museum. It's not about only Benin or Edo State or Nigeria, even. It's West African. And I must say that the experience that we had yesterday was quite unpleasant and deplorable, because this private event on a private property was disrupted by so-called protesters who came in, allowed by the police, because there was security all around, but they left them in. And they disrupted the whole event. So it's exactly how you scale off. You scale off investors and development partners coming in good faith, to partner with your community. And Germany, for instance, has invested 8.5 million euros in this project. If now they see that this project cannot operate normally, I mean, the conclusions will be quite clear, not only for Germany, but for all European stakeholders.
Fantastic. Let's look at a general issue that relates to the involvement of the Western world in Africa in terms of development, in terms of partnership, in terms of insecurity. Talking about partnership, we're seeing, the European Union, for example, always disposed to giving loans to African countries, Nigeria inclusive. The perspective of these loans being a trap for developing countries, underdeveloped countries. What are your thoughts? What's the Commission perspectives on this?
Well, this is a trap where we felt collectively, the lenders and our African partners 30 years ago, and we had at the time to pardon part of this debt, to do a whole work to get out of this situation. So now, through, in particular, our new cooperation strategy, which is called the Global Gateway Strategy, we are very attentive not to fall again into this trap. So we limit the level of indebtedness of partner countries. We give subsidized loans. We don't want to fall again into this trap. And what we are seeing with concern is that African countries, some of them, are falling again into this situation with other lenders, not the European Union, because we've learned from our first experience. So this is why now we work very much with financial instruments, blending loans with grants, for instance, subsidized loans which create revenues for the country, so making sure that they can be reimbursed. So it's really a point we are very attentive to.
On a global scale, we've seen the disappearance of peace, so to speak, at the global level. I mean, the Hamas-Israeli crisis there's a ceasefire, there's some sort of agreement, but we're still seeing some measure of violence. We saw recently the RSF activities in Sudan, particularly in Al-Fasher. That crisis is still going on. And these activities or events that are unfolding globally that undermines peace globally, what's your perspective of the fact that it's like the world is hamstrung in terms of dealing with these issues, nipping them at the bud before it blossoms, it flourishes, snowballs into huge crisis like you're seeing now in Sudan? Hunger is there in Hamas. There's starvation, there's poverty, and all of these issues happening. Why is it so difficult for the world leaders to have a consensus in terms of how they can collectively respond to these issues?
Because we have collective rules in the United Nations Charter, international law. And what we have seen over the last 10 years or so is that very important players have not respected these rules. Take the case of Russia in particular.
Yeah, Russia and Ukraine.
The Russian invasion to Ukraine, which started in fact in 2014, then it became full scale in 2022. Then we, each from a permanent member of the Security Council, a country which is supposed to be a guarantor of these rules, then it shows that everybody can do anything and violates international law without punishment. And so this is why it's so important, and this is why the European Union insisted so much that all countries in the world had to condemn the Russian invasion to Ukraine. And most countries, including Nigeria, have done that. But others, including large democracies, have not done so.
When you say large democracy, are you talking about the US?
The US has done so, but others have not. And then, other crises also popped up. And then when the law starts to be broken here and there, it just becomes contagious.
Ambassador Gottner-Mignot, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate this conversation.
Pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I've been talking with Ambassador Mignot, who is the head of the European delegation to Nigeria and Africa, is currently in Edo State on a visit, and we've been engaging him on a wide range of issues. Thank you for staying with us and have a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney? The kidney is an excretory organ in the body which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney? The kidney is an excretory organ in the body which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy. Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney? The kidney is an excretory organ in the body which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney? The kidney is an excretory organ in the body which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.